Well, what do? I'm a medium and clairvoyant. I look at many things through an energetic perspective, including business, and that's really what I want to focus on. The people that I'm looking for are people that are in business, has almost hit a ceiling in their sales, or they have a ceiling in their mental capability, and they can't go anymore. They can't go any higher. When we get to the point where we are looking for different ways to increase your business, and you're equating to we need to work harder, that's where you need to either get a hold of Penny Lee or myself or various people to look at it that if you're already working, let's say 10 hours or 12 hours, how can you work more and longer? It doesn't make any sense. The whole premise of energy is to be able to work half of what you did before and do double of what your output is. Does anybody know how a standard vehicle works? You know, with the stick shift. Does anybody? I know many cars out there are automatic, but in my day, I learned on a standard transmission. And if I put this car into first gear, and then I look at the RPM, I could rev that sucker up to like 4,000 RPM, and it would be going like 15 miles an hour. Okay, so it's because it's the gear that it's in. So it's not a and in our way, the RPM is sort of the hours that you put in, all the intensity, like working hard. Okay, so the RPM is very high, but the output's very low until you shift gears. You go into second gear. I can still rev it up to 4,000 RPM, and now I'm going 30 or 35. Okay, so we're getting up there until I hit fifth gear. Then I can go highway speed, but the RPM is the same. So hours and intensity are the same, but the output is far better. And that's the kind of where I want to position myself when it comes to working with business people. Because when they have hit their sort of their glass ceiling, you need to get into another gear. You need to get into another point where you can actually work less. Because the RPM, when you're going highway speed, and I clocked it, highway speed is 2,000 RPM. It's not fast at all, but you're going 120. And that is the idea, is to how to be able to get your business so that the intensity is the same or lower and you're just going. Do you think that Warren Buffett, even though he's a multi-billionaire, works harder than you? Actually, he works less. In one interview one time, I saw his calendar. He said, "You want to know what my calendar is?" He pulls it out of his pocket, and it's not nothing like on a phone. It's the old-fashioned calendar that you just write it down on a piece of paper, and it's in a little book, you know. And he says, Monday I'm off, Tuesday I'm off, Wednesday I'm playing golf, Thursday I'm going to one company that I just bought for some I don't know how many millions of dollars just to check up on how they're doing. Friday I'm going to a family meeting, and Saturday is my sort of I work for about 3-4 hours in a row on some of the companies I do, and that's his week. So in other words, he has people and things in place to be able to do all those things, but it's a mindset. Because here's the thing, as business people, we think that nobody can do your business as well as you can. And that's the mindset that traps you. That's the prison. What you should be saying is, I want to do what I really love to do. Like in Redmond's case, he might really want to do a lot of their creative stuff. When he does his family law, there's a lot of creativity and research, and be able to get an amicable idea of what both of them will want to do, because the idea is not to go to court. I mean, yes, eventually that's what's going to happen, but rather than having two people that are mad at each other, all right, I mean, one of his strategies might be, let's see if we can come up with an agreement, and then it's just so much better for everyone. If one doesn't want to do it, then that's fine, but at least you have a strategy. There's some way that people are coming to you because they can't do it. They're in such an emotional state that they need your services to be able to calm things down. So in doing that, be able to get into this gear, it's a mindset. You have to realize that maybe there's someone that could do the bookkeeping better than you, or maybe that can do the marketing better than you. I can do it. I can do all those things. When you're starting out in business, you end up doing everything, don't you? You sweep the floors, you do the marketing, you do the banking, you do everything because it's a sole proprietorship. or entrepreneur sort of thing. And so you end up doing everything. And in the beginning, you have time to do it all because it's not that busy when you first start. But once you start getting clients and they see how amazing you are, well, it doesn't take long before people catch on and they start coming to you repeat business. I remember in my moving business, we didn't spend any money on advertising. In the beginning, we spent a lot of money on it. We were in all the elevators in Ottawa. It was a moving company. So in elevators, we wanted to get a lot of people that live in apartments. So we spent a lot of money on that. Eventually got to the point where we were scaling it down because we were just too busy. Because after 2 years, people start referring you, and then there's an internal momentum sort of thing. And I was getting 95% of my business through word of mouth, the old-fashioned way. People love you, they'll stay with you, and you could solve your problem and so on. So that's what that is. So being in that mindset. But the idea, it's all about energy, folks. It's all about getting together and finding out what is going to be, where do you want to be? What kind of people do you want? To be honest, I don't want people that want to come in just for me to show them that, they feel vibrations or they don't really believe in spirit. I have no clue. And if they want me to prove something, I have no interest in that. This isn't a sales thing. If someone is open to various things that we do, then we could do something. But imagine somebody that doesn't believe in cars. Like I don't think Sam wants to deal with them or abuse the cars all the time. And every time they come in, all the bolts are rusted. They don't do anything. So it makes his job so much harder. There's just a couple of things that he had mentioned a while back about lug bolts and so on, that they just don't maintain their cars. He ends up putting in 25% more time on that so whether or not he wants to 50 clients like that, I don't know. It's eventually you're going to be able to qualify your clients, and that's when your business becomes honed. You get to a higher scale, and that's when you get all the great customers, all the people that come in and they just love you. So it's all about energy. So that's what I really am tapped into. When Penny Lee mentioned what kind of real target market. My main target market is women between the age of 40 and 60. Those are because at age 40, somebody once said, and it was a woman that said this, that's when women wake up. They've already gone through a couple of relationships perhaps, and they are smart. You don't want to do anything to a 40-year-old woman, I was being told, that because they get it. They just see things a mile away. Like they're smart. For men, it's 50. It takes us 10 years longer, guys, to get to that point. But when we get there, all we want is respect, and we want gratitude, and the whole whole thing goes on. But the idea is, look at your energy, look at your business as it's a person. It is it has intelligence, because when someone comes in and says, I'm really having a rough year, and I says, yeah, your business is saying that. Because I'm tapping into that business as if it's a person. And whether you believe this or not, the point is it's talking to me, and I'm translating whatever energy it is and telling you what your business wants. So when you say you want to bring in, let's say, a partner, let's say you figured that, to do this, I need a partner to share the work and all that stuff. And then the business says, no, you don't. We don't want a partner. And so that's what I tell them. It's like, no, this is what you are looking for, is perhaps someone that you can bring in to highlight some of the skills that you might be short with. And so sometimes I'll save people hundreds of thousands of dollars and many, many headaches by not getting someone to come in. Or if they wanted to invest something, 40 or 50, I just got this between the Christmas and New Year. Somebody wanted to spend a lot of money just before the end of the year, and the business said no. And the guy said, why? It's a great opportunity. He says, yes, because that's true, but your business is saying that by doing it now, yes, you're making a decision based on what's happening right now. But, as Redmond can tell you, if you are looking at it as the decision you're making right now, a relationship doesn't just happen for a month or two. It's eternal. Like when you get into a partnership, you can't just cancel that in a month or two from now. And the business is saying that within 3 or 4 months, all the problems that you're going through are going to be over. It's going to be alleviated because it's sort of an anomaly of whatever's going on right now. So you have a knee-jerk reaction to things. When you get insight like that, that's massive because you're not making the decision based on where you are right now. You got to think a year, 2 years, 5 years ahead. Where are you going to be? Is this relationship still going to be successful, or is it going to be something that you're going to need? Okay. So from a business perspective, look at it that your business is intelligence. It knows how to grow. Have you ever noticed that when you just start your business, clients just come out of nowhere because it's you. You are your business. This energy has come out of you and has turned it into a livelihood or whatever, and it understands it has to bring in clients, but like anything else, it has to breathe. What do we mean by that? When you take a breath in, you relax. Or when you take a breath in, that's when you want to do most of your insight and planning and that kind of thing. When you exhale is when you do most of the work. If you look at it, then nobody will inhale when they're lifting weights. It's always exhale, isn't it? And that's when the power is. So your business is going to be in perspective mode. That's when there's like a new moon or something. You don't do anything on, like you don't sign any contracts when there's no moon. Okay, always sign a contract as close to a full moon as possible. That's when there's the most light, the most energy. That's when it's going to be the most successful. And so when you incorporate these energy factors in your business, you'll be more successful. One quick one, I know my time is just about up there. One quick one is, if you take a pen and you check it to make sure it's working, okay? It's working, it's all good, and then you go to sign a big deal, a contract, and at that moment the pen doesn't work, your business is saying don't sign. Japanese have this thing, and when I first heard this, I said, this was a multi-billion-dollar deal, and the pen didn't work, and they walked away. And I said, that's silly. And I started, asking Spirit about it. This was years ago, and they said, yep, because their business realized that there's something that is missing that they're not looking at. They're looking at the dollars, but they're not looking at the long-term effect of everything. So since the pen didn't work, and it just worked a second ago, and it doesn't work now, that's your business telling you not to sign. But if you don't know these signs, you'll just say, oh, what's wrong? I'll have my other pen. And then you're almost vetoing or overpowering the energy. And of course, any pen will work then because now you're on your own, buddy, sort of thing. It's a sign, okay? So hopefully this will help you in that way, all right?